Okay, today's episode we're going to talk about
Pendatang.
you're listening to.
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
So this Pendatang thing lah been a bit happening. I think more of like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, not like now kind of thing. So yeah, how did you first heard about it?
How? Actually, I also don't know. Was it all over social media, I think? Or was
I
it
don't
you?
know. Okay, probably just me. So this Pendatang movie, we're talking about this Pendatang movie. That's Malaysia's first entirely crowdfunded movie that has actually reached a massive audience. I would say audience, massive marketing. You know why I say this massive marketing? Because Pendatang movie is done by Kuman Pictures and a few others. And it's considered so-called crowdfunded, very independent, not very... not commercial lah. It's a very indie production,
I didn't
right?
even hear about the crowdfunding at all
Correct.
until this thing, it's coming out, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I only know about it because Kuman Pictures belongs to Amir Muhammad. Amir Muhammad is my publisher lah.
Okay.
Okay, so we are in each other's social network, so to speak, right?
Okay.
So I was surprised to find being forwarded messages like, oh, tonight is the premiere. Let's watch it on YouTube together on guess which channel on my WhatsApp? The Family Clan.
Ha!
It's like the last thing on earth because they
Yeah.
are, number one, they're not very artsy lah. They talk about cooking, food lah,
Yes.
traveling. And then suddenly got this, watch this thing.
Some more
there.
local movies, they're not very
Yeah,
into local
it's
movies.
not even
right?
Andy Lau or like, you know.
Okay,
I mean, not even Spider-Man. It's like, why are you talking about this thing?
Right.
So I felt like, wow, quite amused that they are also in this know of this coming movie and they say, hey, watch together online, which I thought like, hey, I asked you to listen to my music online together, so nothing happened. Here they are watching Pendatang and I was like a bit
So they did
amused
actually
lah.
watch it tonight.
So I just
together.
thought maybe they shared the word that they will watch. That was my initial thought, which I was quite wrong lah apparently.
Okay.
Because halfway through, I think it started at 8 p.m. or something like that.
Okay.
So halfway through the movie time, I wasn't watching. I was busy catching up with some work, right? Half through, maybe 8:45 like that.
Yeah.
Then they said, I don't know what's this show about. Like, I turned off already. And then they
Really?
started chatting about it, which I find very rare. Because like I say, they don't discuss about movies at all in general, right? So they say, yeah, I'm still watching and I don't know what's going on. And the other one's like,
Really?
it's like a waste of my time. And then me being me going like, Kuman Pictures don't produce waste of my time movies. I mean, I've watched some of their movies. They are very thought-provoking. There's always a purpose, a reason. Then I was thinking, yeah lah, they all sound like my mother now. So maybe the movie is a bit too artistic for them. You know, because I once brought my mom to a indie movie in the cinema.
Okay.
And then it was a very too artistic movie.
Okay.
She's like, the camera just show the fan turning for 10 seconds and then show the water dripping
Yes,
5
I know exactly
seconds.
Okay.
And like, why do I even watch lah? So I can imagine if it's too artistic, my whole clan would think that way.
Okay.
And that's why
this was before you watched it, right?
yeah, before I watched
Okay.
it. And then I was like, it's a bit weird because I watched the teaser. And the teaser sounded very promising. Like,
Right.
wow, it's full of this thriller. Like, a bit more like a, how to say it? Looks like a older time. It didn't
Right.
look like some modern city lah. It was at the kampung. I was like,
Yeah.
it sounded very promising lah.
Yeah.
So when they have this response, I become very curious lah. But the movie premiered, so I cannot go and start from beginning, right? If I go watch, it's halfway.
You have
So
to wait.
I had to wait for it to finish before I start from the beginning. So yeah, that was how this topic lah that I want to talk about lah,
Okay.
Pendatang lah, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, after that I told you to watch. So did you watch it?
Yes, I did. I watched it like a week after it premiered, I think. It premiered, just before Christmas? But anyway, I watched it. It was like almost a week and it already had 500,000 plus views.
Okay, but it was so 100K, so yeah.
And okay, so for me lah, I was, because you already mentioned about maybe it was artifati and all that. So I was like, okay, like fingers crossed. But I don't think so lah. I mean, you're talking about such a
Serious
heavy
topic.
serious topic, and it's about like segregation, right? I mean, that was
Google.
the theme
We
of-
actually never really say what the movie's about. Come, give a short summary.
Okay, so without any spoilers, it's basically what if Malaysia went into a era of segregation? What would happen if the races don't mix, right? That
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
what-
So in this multicultural country, what happens if Malay live alone and then Chinese live on their own and then Indian live on their own?
Yeah. So actually what was interesting is the name was Pendatang. And then when I watched it, okay,
You
unlike
expected a Malay show, Malay
Yes,
movie, right?
I did not watch any trailer. and I did not
Actually, when
really
you
pay
watch
attention to
the trailer, you still think that it's a very Malaysian show. Like it's a Malaysia because they captured the Malay talking parts. They didn't capture the Chinese
No,
part.
it was a very Malaysian show. Very,
Correct,
very
correct.
Malaysian. I did not expect it to be in Cantonese. And
Correct.
you know,
The first word they open is Chinese.
yeah,
like
and I hardly watch Cantonese because I just cannot understand. It's like Mandarin, at least I can paham sikit lah. Tapi you can see the subtitles and everything. So even when I saw the picture, the
the
poster
visual,
and
the first
everything,
opening visual,
it
everything.
still didn't occur to me that it would be
A Malaysian
almost-
language show.
Yeah, a Malaysian language, but I think predominantly was Cantonese,
I
if I'm
don't know.
not
I just
mistaken.
felt it was so Malaysian that I never really listened whether it's too many Cantonese or not.
Okay, that's because you understand lah.
No, because in between when they talk, even they
Yes, there was
mix them.
mix.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it was a very Malaysian context. The way they talk like, 你食飯啦，跟住出去嘟餅乾啦。
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
it's
correct.
very like integrated so well that I just don't feel that.
I think to
you
me,
know?
I realized there was a lot of Cantonese in it because I actually had to stop, rewind. Like, what did he say?
Oh, yeah,
Because once
'cause
you
you
take your
cannot
eyes off
understand
the
Chinese.
subtitles, right? I'm like, at the beginning lah. But after a while, I kind of like got into
I
it.
think in the beginning there was a lot of Chinese because it's just setting of the Chinese family lah.
I liked the shots. I thought it was artistic. I thought the storytelling, again, Gina's level of storytelling is different level. But
Wait,
I
don't like
liked
that. I thought it was quite a brilliant storytelling.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I liked how, you go in and you don't know what in the world is going on. Like, why is this family going to this place or whatever? And it's like, and then slowly you begin to get snippets of, so this happened. So that's why they are here. And
Correct.
that's why this guy is acting like that. It's a lot of, as the story progresses, without overtly, like in a galaxy far, far away. There's no like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think 3 lines only lah, just to tell you.
I think the first 2 minutes they were explaining how they got separated lah. Not separated. I think they have probably had this, let's vote and who win the land. And
yes,
then they just
but then I'm like,
yeah.
but who voted for what?
Correct.
Right? So
that
I
was
don't
not
know
explained.
who voted
It's up to your
for
imagination.
what. But I think by the end of the show, I can already figure out what
Correct.
they voted for lah, and how the technicalities, never mind lah. But I did not feel like it was, we've watched movies together that is like artsy one. You finish and you go like, huh?
I feel like
Wow.
this one is a good mixture of artsy storytelling and everything. It's like they didn't give up that art despite
Yes.
being very
It was artistic.
accessible.
But it wasn't arty-farty in the sense that is like, throw everything else to the
Yeah.
wind and don't move the story ahead. I think everything there served a purpose.
Correct. A perfect balance of things actually.
Yeah.
So maybe after the commercial we come back, we talk about what is the message that we get from the movie lah.
Cool. Chinese New Year is just around the corner.
And the favorite things, of course, cookies lah. So this year, Jason Bakes Healthy Oat Cookies are available in 3 flavors: original, chocolate, and coffee. And I've seen the packaging, so pretty. Give client very suitable, Have you tasted the cookie, Ju?
Yes, my favorite is the original recipe.
So if you're interested to get your Chinese New Year cookies today, call 016-696-0546. Let me repeat the number again. 016-696-0546.
Now back to the episode.
Yes.
Okay, we're back.
Yes, you're back.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I want to start first. The funny thing was, right, as I was watching, right, even from the beginning, there were things that caught my attention. It's like, ooh, I know why he said that. But at the back of my head, I was saying, but the people who need to know this won't get it.
I get you. Like the audience lah. Actually, that's what I really like about this movie is because there's so many layers. If you get it, you get it. You don't get it, you might read in between your lines. If you
Yeah.
totally don't get it, you're like, my family is a stupid movie. Waste of time. I was a bit surprised to hear that kind of comment. So that was why when I watched it, I said, how come I get it and appreciate it
Yeah.
and appreciate the message. But then we also have people who just go, waste of time.
I think almost like if you have been sensitized or that is already a thing that is playing on your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, yes,
Correct.
But if you you're totally oblivious to it. Or
Then you just watch it as another movie. As some
and
person
then,
got
yeah, there will be
intruded.
those things that like totally like will just fly past lah. But the thing for me, it was like, but those are the things that everybody should know, you know. And I was
Correct.
wondering, is it like preaching to the choir? Is it like, if I get it, I get it. If you don't get it, then but I want you to get it.
Yes and no, lor. That's why
Will
we're
they be able
talking
to
about
get
the
it or
movie,
not?
lor.
Okay.
Because I remember, right, after reading my family review of Waste of Time, whatever, then when I go on social media, all my arts people, creative lah, the actors lah, the actress lah, the directors, so, wow, it's a brilliant, blah, 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 blah. So I felt like, how come there's so contrast one? You know? And the way they say brilliance in these reviews that is raving reviews are not just about the skills or the artistic.
Yes.
They really appreciated the storyline, the brilliance of it. So I thought
The
it's
subtleness,
worth-
you know. There's
Correct.
Like telling
it's very
something
well
that is
done.
very underlying in our culture, but then in a very different context.
Correct.
So what
So
if?
Pendatang the movie is actually under the category dystopian thriller. Okay,
What is
so thriller
dystopian,
is
ah?
something that
Thriller, I
everybody know
know,
lah,
okay.
like kanchong, like suspense, and then you have intruder coming to your house, then and you're not supposed. What you're supposed to do, the intruder sounds very suspense lah, feel of
Okay.
thriller. Okay, dystopian basically mean in the world where everything is wrong.
Oh, in a disturbing version of the future.
Yeah.
Dystopian. Okay, got it.
Okay, I tell you how interestingly how I understand dystopian is because I needed to understand what's utopian.
Okay, utopian I know.
Okay, utopia, I mean this lousy lah. 3 years ago or something, they asked me to a panel, talking about utopian literature, fictional world, and I just
You
went,
thought it was utopian, right?
what on earth are they talking about? And then I actually refused to join the panel.
Okay.
I said, no lah, I don't even understand the word. Like I
But
was
no
not
ChatGPT for you to
I
ask,
was
is
not
it?
matured enough.
Okay.
And then when I read online, I Google definition, I still don't understand the word.
Okay.
But then because as the president of the Malaysian Writers Society, right, they're like, no, you must write. I said, but I freaking understand the word. But I went anyway because I had like 3 other friends who like, okay lah, never mind, I just let them talk lah. But the whole time they were talking and I'm thinking, why am I doing this panel?
And you still had no idea what utopian means.
Because they were talking about quite a mixture of it.
Okay.
And then it reached a point where, okay, panelists asking stupid question. Okay, what's this utopian lah? I say, let's define it because I find that they were having different definition of utopian. Okay, so utopian is actually like the perfect
Ideal?
ideal world.
Yeah.
So where, there's no crime, there's no... All things are good lah.
It's like you die, go to heaven. Already.
Yeah, something like that. It's heaven lah.
Okay.
So dystopia is like, I would say it's hell lah. Okay. It's a bit like everything is not functioning well. So for example, stealing is okay, killing is okay. In fact, you kill to survive. And
So
then,
would you say it's the opposite of utopian?
yes, it's the totally opposite of utopian.
Okay.
So when the whole press release came out, dystopian thriller, you already expect something that is not. We call it a bit more science fiction or a bit more.
So when I started watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my kind of show. Because I like Divergent.
okay,
That time.
okay.
And Divergent was like similar but not right.
Yeah.
People divided into different classes and you should not mix. So it has a lot of that kind of vibe, but so Malaysian and
Yeah, so Malaysian.
relatable.
So I think it's not too much spoiler to tell you that in the movie, right, there's this whole Chinese live in the Chinese land and then Malay live in a Malay land and then Indian live in an Indian land. And you also find that we always say that we have racial disharmony in the country. But hello, you're living Chinese within Chinese, the whole Chinese movie is fighting around Chinese.
Yeah,
You also
right.
have disharmony among the
Correct.
Chinese.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also good to look at things that we cannot just blame races and differences that conflicts exist in Malaysia lah. Because even without the differences, you still might have conflicts in a different way.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like, quite nice lah.
Yeah. The other thing I liked about it was when people were missing things about the other cultures that were no longer
Yeah.
there because you can't
Tak ada sambal belacan kat sini.
that kind of thing. Yeah. So that was very interesting also.
But yeah, I kind of like how at the end of the day, you see in Malaysia, the connection or the language that connect us all is still the Malay language. It's our national language. If like you cannot expect everyone to know Cantonese or speak in Tamil or like speak in Dusun or Kelabit, but you can half expect everyone to speak a decent Bahasa Melayu.
Yeah, and then even in the Chinese
To
also got the
communicate.
Melayu, right? It's
Correct.
Like even when you talk Tamil also got Melayu inside.
Correct.
It's all mixed up in there.
Correct. Our vocabulary are all quite strengthened up in that sense lah. So I thought, hey, it's a very interesting movie that tells me that there is good and evil no matter who you blame
Yeah.
or what you blame. You can say that it's a multiracial country lah, it's a different races lah, different religion. But at the end of the day, same religion, also same thing.
But talking about the end of the day, I know this one is like not say off topic, but you watch the movie and and it's like, wow, you know what could happen? It's like all about segregation. And then the credits roll.
Okay. And it's not segregated at all.
And
It's
you
so
see,
Malaysian.
because it's crowdfunding,
Yeah.
right? Okay, the thing was, it was so small because my TV not very big, the TV screen, right? If you
Okay.
watch on a big screen, it's like, wow, it's super huge. So I was like, I actually stood up and went, there was tier 1 to tier 2. It's not like I wanted to read, but I thought it was already the credits because I couldn't see. So I remember they said something about the funding. And then I walked there, and then I was like, actually went near, took off my glasses or changed the glasses so that I
Okay.
could read. And you see names upon names, and they're all mixed, you know. It's like all the different races in chunks coming together, and it's
To
like,
pay money to produce
To
this.
produce
Do you know how
this?
much money they collected?
yes. I think the target was 300. See, I actually read it.
Wow.
It was 300K, but they raised 400K.
Yeah. So it was amazing because crowdfunding in Malaysia, for books also you might not meet 50% of the target. Like you, it's
Wow.
let's say you have a project that is 50K or something. Unless it's profit making, it's very hard to reach.
Uh-huh.
So for them, I think when we started, right, there was no like reach or don't reach, we will still do lah.
Right.
But for them to go beyond it allows them to have a proper production.
Right. Hey, it
That-
was, wow, it was.
Can you imagine
Proper
if 400K you can produce such movie? Then why are we having some other movies?
But I don't
Then
know
that's
lah,
a totally
that's like you
different
have to
story
think.
altogether. But let's let you finish your thought. Come.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like it gave me that sense of hope. I mean, watching that, you can come up feeling however you want to feel, lah, right? But at the end of the day, when the credits rolled, I just felt like, hey, yes, we together in this. We're still together in this. There's plenty of hope yet in Malaysia, lah.
Good. I think we should just end on that note. So yeah, there's plenty of good left in Malaysia. So continue to look at the good in your everyday life.
Yeah, kalau belum tengok movie tu, tengok sekejap.
Yeah, online bila-bila masa sebelum ditarik. Okay, cepat-cepat.
Alright.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Juwita Suito and Gina Yap Lai Yung.
Today's episode is recorded at AV United.
Remember to click like and subscribe for a brand new episode next week.